Of all the human atrocities and senselessness, the innocent slaughtering of a nation of people through war is the most cruel and barbaric. I am always against any external acts of war towards another, but I am very much a proponent of going to war with oneself to overcome the limitations of the current self for the advancement of the future self. Many times in my life, I have had to take a very serious and critical examination of my actions, of my behavior, of my habits, and came to the realization that I was not on a trajectory that would get me to the life that I wanted to create or the version of myself I wanted to become. At times like those, it is not a matter of slight alterations in my path. Rather, I needed a profound interjection with my higher consciousness to put means and measures in place to force my lower cognitive self to only be able to make a decision amongst the confined progressive options. The winner of this game of war between the most developed part of the brain, the prefrontal cortex, versus the most primitive part of the brain, the brainstem, is what will ultimately determine the quality of the person I become. A war with myself is the most difficult war to win, as I am both my own ally and my own enemy. There are mixed feelings of enjoyment and guilt in knowing what I should be doing versus what I am doing, just as there is cognitive dissonance in my execution versus my internal perception of myself. I am still fighting this war within myself, as I may continue to for the rest of my days, trying to find the source of this vague sense of guilt and regret that seems to not come from the past, but rather the future, if I do not strategize properly to move my forces to win this battlefield of navigating the landmines and booby traps of this journey through life. As in any war, there are casualties and regrouping. There are advances and retreats. There are prayers to God and pains to overcome. But in the end, one side will emerge victorious. I simply hope that it is the most conscious version of myself that stands triumphant amongst the carnage.